Welcome to the deep dive. So today, we're shifting our focus to the skies, to the stars, specifically to the total lunar eclipse happening in March 2025.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, you sent over a whole bunch of articles about it,
Right.
and I can already tell this is going to be amazing. And especially since, we're here in North America, we're going to have a front row seat to the entire celestial show.
It's going to be quite the show.
Yeah.
What's fascinating here is this isn't just any lunar eclipse, right?
Mm.
This is a total lunar eclipse.
Okay.
And during the totality, the moon will turn like a reddish-orange color,
Mm.
creating that whole blood moon phenomenon.
Yeah.
It's happening on the night of March 13th going into the 14th, depending on your time zone, of course.
Right. Yeah, that blood moon thing has always just it's so interesting to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like ancient civilizations saw eclipses as omens or signs of like huge upheaval.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's so incredible how much our understanding has evolved, but that primal sense of wonder is still there.
For sure.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, can you just remind us what actually causes a lunar eclipse?
Sure. So in the simplest terms, a lunar eclipse happens when the sun, the earth, and the moon all align perfectly.
Uh-huh.
So the earth is positioned directly between the sun and the moon.
Okay.
The earth casts a shadow out into space, and the moon passes right through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm picturing it like the moon is playing cosmic hide and seek with Earth's shadow.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And during a total lunar eclipse, like the one we're diving into, the moon is completely covered by the darkest part of Earth's shadow. And that darkest part is called the umbra.
The umbra. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's when we get that super dramatic blood moon effect.
Precisely. The reddish color is caused by sunlight bending through the Earth's atmosphere. Think of it like a sunset. You know how only the red wavelengths kind of make it through to reach our eyes?
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing here. Only the red wavelengths make it through during the eclipse.
Okay.
So you can almost think about it like all the world's sunsets are being projected onto the moon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a really beautiful way to think about it.
Yeah.
It really adds another layer to this whole event. So, this eclipse happens right after the full worm moon.
Right.
Is there any connection there, or is that just a total coincidence?
It's mostly a coincidence. The worm moon is just the name for March's full moon.
Gotcha.
It has to do with the time of year and, the signs of spring emerging in the northern hemisphere.
Right.
But the fact that the eclipse coincides with a full moon is essential. We only get lunar eclipses when the moon is full, because that's the only time it's positioned opposite the sun in its orbit.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So the worm moon just happens to be the full moon that falls during this eclipse.
Right.
Okay, so we've got the basics down. Now let's get specific. You mentioned North America has an incredible view of this eclipse, so what can we expect to see?
Well, for starters, you won't need any special equipment to see it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just find a dark location, away from bright lights, look up, and enjoy.
So no fancy telescopes or anything? I like
No.
the sound of that. Makes this whole experience feel so much more accessible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, for those of us in North America, the full worm moon will rise on the night of March 13th and gradually drift into the Earth's shadow.
Okay.
As it does that, we'll start to see it, begin to dim and slowly take on that reddish-orange hue.
I bet that gradual change is subtle, but still so cool to watch.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then comes the main event, totality. That's when the moon is fully engulfed in the Earth's shadow.
Right.
Now, for viewers in the Eastern time zone, totality will happen between 2:26 and 3:31 a.m. on Friday, March 14th.
Okay, so that means if you're in the central time zone, it'll be from 1:26 to 2:31 a.m.
Exactly.
And on the West Coast, you're looking at 11:26 p.m. on Thursday, March 13th to 12:31 a.m. on Friday, March 14th.
You got it.
Okay.
No matter where you are in North America, you'll have a fantastic view. And what's really special about this particular eclipse is the duration of totality,
Okay.
a whopping 65 minutes.
Wow, over an hour of the blood moon. I don't think I've ever seen a total lunar eclipse last that long.
It's pretty rare to have such a long totality.
Yeah.
Definitely worth setting those alarms for.
Right.
And don't forget the show starts even earlier.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I recommend heading out about 75 minutes before totality even begins.
Okay.
You'll be able to witness the Earth's shadow kind of creeping across the moon during the partial phases.
It's like watching a slow-motion cosmic dance, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
And speaking of the cosmos, while you're out there enjoying the eclipse, take a moment to appreciate the rest of the night sky.
Oh, good point. What else should we be on the lookout for up there?
Well, you might be able to spot Jupiter and Mars in the western sky.
Okay.
And the moon itself will be in the constellation Leo at the start of the eclipse, later moving into Virgo as the night goes on.
Oh, cool. I've always loved trying to find the different constellations.
Oh, yeah.
And with the moon's light dimmed during the eclipse, I bet they'll be way more visible.
That's right. The dimmer light makes it easier to see those fainter stars. It really is a perfect night for sky watching. I actually came across some interesting facts about this particular lunar eclipse while I was preparing for our deep dive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, would you like to hear them?
Absolutely. Hit me with the cosmic knowledge.
All right, so first up, the magnitude of this eclipse is 1.178.
Magnitude. What exactly does that mean?
That's a great question. The magnitude of a lunar eclipse tells us how deeply the moon is plunging into the Earth's shadow. Okay. So in this case, a magnitude of 1.178 means that the moon will be fully covered by Earth's umbra. Essentially, we're talking about a 100% obscuration of the moon.
So a true total eclipse. No little sliver of moon peeking out this time.
Precisely. And as we mentioned, the duration of totality is an impressive 1 hour and 5 minutes. All of those factors kind of come together to make this a truly remarkable event.
It's pretty amazing how we can, predict these celestial events with such accuracy.
I know, right?
All thanks to science, of course.
Absolutely. It's a testament to our understanding of celestial mechanics.
Right.
And speaking of predictions, you might find this interesting.
Correct.
This total lunar eclipse is actually just the first in a series.
Wait, a series. Tell me more.
Just 2 weeks later, on March 29th, 2025, there will be a partial solar eclipse.
Whoa. A lunar eclipse and then a solar eclipse. That's crazy. 2 eclipses in 2 weeks. March 2025 is going to be a huge month for sky watchers.
It certainly is. But before we get ahead of ourselves and start talking about solar eclipses, I think it's worth taking a moment to reflect on the significance of lunar eclipses.
Yeah.
They fascinated humanity for millennia.
It's true. I mean, can you imagine what people must have thought thousands of years ago when they saw the moon seemingly disappear and then turn red?
Oh, I can only imagine. It must have been both terrifying and awe-inspiring all at the same time.
Right.
Today, we understand the science behind it.
Yeah.
But that sense of awe, that connection to something so much bigger than ourselves, it remains.
Yeah. It's like a reminder that we are, in fact, a part of something much, much larger,
Yes.
connected to this huge universe, even in ways we might not fully understand.
Absolutely.
I think that's what makes these events so powerful.
I couldn't agree more.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's a perfect note to end this part of our deep dive on.
Yeah, it really is incredible to think about, how these events, these celestial events kind of connect us to the past, the present, and the future.
For sure.
People have been watching eclipses for centuries, and here we are, getting ready to witness one ourselves.
That's amazing.
And, the beauty of it is that anyone can participate.
Yeah.
You don't need any special knowledge or equipment.
Right.
Just a clear sky and a sense of curiosity.
That's all you need.
Speaking of clear skies, I've seen some really incredible pictures of total lunar eclipses,
Oh, yeah?
but I've never actually seen one in person.
Oh, wow.
So I'm really curious, what will this experience be like firsthand?
I think you'll be amazed.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing the moon gradually change color.
Right.
That slow transformation from bright white to deep red.
Yeah.
It's truly mesmerizing.
It's like the moon is telling a story, right?
Absolutely. And each eclipse tells a slightly different story depending on the atmospheric conditions, the time of year, your location.
Right.
That's part of what makes them so unique.
Okay, so for our listener who is obviously fascinated by this upcoming eclipse, let's recap what we've learned today.
Okay.
We're talking about a total lunar eclipse happening on the night of March 13th, going into the 14th, 2025.
Right.
The sun, the Earth, and the moon will all be perfectly aligned, with the Earth casting its shadow on that full worm moon.
That's right.
And thanks to the way light bends through the Earth's atmosphere, the moon will take on that dramatic reddish-orange hue, creating the blood moon.
Exactly.
And the best part, North America has prime viewing for this entire event, with totality lasting an impressive 65 minutes.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
Don't forget to find a dark location away from those pesky city lights.
Right.
And I suggest heading out, maybe about 75 minutes before totality to catch those partial phases too.
Yeah, it's going to be spectacular. But here's a final thought for you to consider as you get ready to witness this celestial spectacle. Knowing the science behind it, how and why it happens, will it make the experience even more awe-inspiring? Will you feel an even deeper connection to the universe as you watch the moon transform before your very eyes? Well, we'll leave you with that question. Until next time, keep looking up and keep exploring.